Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello? Okay. Sweet. Let's start today with climate change. Climate change. We're burning up. We're burning up. We're burning up in the world, and then we're gonna move on to TYT. Anna Kasparian is leaving. I have some White Claws with me. I like White Claws. White Claw gay. Fuck me. Fuck yeah. Okay, where was I going again? Anna Kasparian. Earth is burning.
All right, y'all, it's terrifying.
Here we go, boys. Boys and girls. We all love when the earth burns, right? I think I did a stream a while ago, or I did like a little bit about the planet burning or whatever. Where was that at? Shit, I don't remember, but I thought it was pretty funny. Cause, yeah, I'm not sure. I gotta look for that. But it was like a clip of, oh, here it is. I found it.
I Crip Mac. Never kill your motherfucker. Commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Never commit suicide. Things get rough. Don't give up. Don't take your own life. Everything gonna see alright. Gonna see alright, cuz. Never commit suicide. Suicide by the weak-minded. Been through hell, no money. Late night grinding. With baby stretch. Draw down the baby T. Low, really grinding. In the 50s, we winning. We shining. Never commit suicide. Don't do no Custer shit. Killing yourself.
Some Custer shit, y'all.
I've been a
We will stop climate change. Never commit suicide. You know what I mean? Stay politically active. Don't worry. Crip Max said it. Good.
All right, y'all, it's terrifying article time. I hope you're ready for
Kyle
terrifying
Kalinske.
article time. So
I love
I
you,
read this
Kyle.
article the other day about the absolutely wacky weather that's currently happening, and I had to share this with you. So they say, off the charts, Earth's vital signs are going haywire. So this is from, just to be clear, this is from June 30th. So this guy says, in my 30-decade-long career being a weather forecaster and now chief meteorologist and climate specialist, I have never observed so many of Earth's vital signs blinking red. Meteorologists and climate scientists all around the world are in awe of the simultaneous literal off-the-charts records being broken. Now, I'm going to show you the charts in a second. Buckle up for that. Yes, it's climate change. The steady trend of rising temperatures over the last few decades has placed Earth's baseline...
Like, literally, we have more and more ice melt. Like, literally, scientists are measuring how much ice has melted. And apparently, it's like miles of fucking ice. Like, I saw, I don't know who it was. It was a fucking documentary with, shit, who's that dude? DiCaprio? You know how Keemstar says it? DiCaprio. Leonardo. Yeah, but he made a documentary about climate change a really long time ago, and I watched it, man, and it's really fucking, like, it's really sad, because they literally measured how much ice is melted, because the scientists had to drill into the ice and put this big, long hose into the ice, right? And through years and years and years, the ice has melted on the top of the ice, you know? They drilled it, they put a big hose, and they pulled out the fucking hose. I mean, they don't gotta pull it out. Like, just from the melting of the ice, they can see how much of the hose is out of the fucking hole. And it's miles. We're losing miles of ice. Miles of ice. Soon we're gonna lose Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all these fucking islands that we take for granted. We're gonna lose all of that shit. Get ready. We're gonna lose the North Pole, the South Pole, Antarctica. You know what I mean? Oceans are gonna rise. They're gonna get more fucking acidic. You want acidic oceans? Have fucking fun, dude. It's just fucking, it's so depressing. More forest fires, extreme temperatures, more fucking hurricanes, more tornadoes. Oh my god.
climate so high
And I'm feeling
that
that shit
achieving
now.
these
Like, this might-
extremes,
the
which used to
house
be
I'm in is
rare if not
fucking
unheard
hot,
of,
dude.
is now expected
Super
when
hot.
conditions are ripe. And right now they are, with El Nino's added heat and several other concurrent varying natural climate patterns. So to be more specific, it's climate change with other natural patterns piled on top. Now this is why I like this article too, because it's very nuanced. You know, it's not like low IQ, just sort of regurgitating lazy theories. It's very detailed. With El Nino now in place, we are getting a glimpse of how far we can force the climate system with never before observed heights achieved. Many more are on the way for the 2023-2024 as El Nino gets stronger and more heat is released from the oceans into the atmosphere. From ocean temperatures to sea ice to land ice to emissions from wildfire smoke, the charts below speak for themselves. Let's start with ocean temperatures. Due to a combination of factors, the North Atlantic Ocean is way beyond record hot right now. Let me repeat that. The North Atlantic Ocean is way beyond record hot right now. The kind of heat that would only be found once in tens or 100s of thousands of years in a climate before human-caused warming took hold. Take a look at the North Atlantic sea temperature departure from normal in 2023 compared to previous years. Guys, look at that chart.
Oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on here? Y'all, you seeing this shit? I need my stream deck. You guys seeing it? Look at my stream deck, guys. You guys like it? These are all the buttons I have. When I saw that chart, I was like, oh, why can't I hear it? What's going on now? Fuck, man. Is this not plugged in? It's not. Sorry, my Elgato was not plugged in. But when I heard that number, I was like, what the fuck?
This castle
It's unacceptable.
unacceptable.
This is unacceptable. What is going on Earth, bro?
Unacceptable.
Fucking unacceptable, dude. Bullcrap. It's bullcrap. This should not be a thing. This right here should be the big warning sign that all governments look at and say, oh shit, we need to do something. We need to do something about this. But no. No. Corporations, rich people, rich fucks. Keep selling your garbage. Keep selling all your fucking gasoline, your fucking polluting ass, pieces of shit ass, fucking, I'm so mad. I'm mad.
North Atlantic sea surface temperature on June 21st,
Go ahead. You guys are
1982
rich.
to
You guys make us
2023.
money. Go
Look
ahead. Keep
how
selling
above
the
and beyond we
gasoline,
are.
the petroleum, and the bombs, and keep having
So
wars
they have
and
it in
blowing shit
Celsius
up.
here, degrees Celsius.
You think missiles don't add to the fucking heat? Think about that shit, dude.
And we're just off the charts. Look at this. The Atlantic has warmed about 2 degrees
I'm
Fahrenheit
sick of this
since
shit. I'm tired.
1900 due to warming from emissions of greenhouse gases due to the burning of fossil fuels, and also more recently the decrease in air pollution, allowing
sorry
more
guys, if
sunlight
you guys
through.
do hear a little bit of audio replay and shit, it's because I don't have my headphones broke. You guys want to buy me some new headphones? Let me know. I had these fucking Razer. These are good Razer headphones, right? I mean, I don't know how good Razer is. They're probably a shitty ass fucking disgusting brand. But I have those Razer headphones, and like they don't charge. It doesn't charge. I put them to charge. I leave them to charge for hours. I come back, it starts beeping like it's fucking dying. Like, all right, bye.
Now that
Bye.
is interesting. So this is a rare instance where they're saying, look, a decrease in pollution actually allowed more sunlight through, which heated up the Earth more. Wow. Okay. By the way, this is not a pro-pollution argument, just to be clear. I'm not making it, nor is this guy making it. Okay, let's continue. In the shorter term, on top of that, we have a weaker Atlantic high, meaning weaker tropical low-level winds, trade winds, and thus less dust stirred up off Africa. Less dust over the tropical Atlantic skies means more sun gets through and it warms the surface. That's another weird thing. Normally at this time we'd have the dust from Africa sort of covering the Atlantic skies, tropical Atlantic skies, but we don't now, so more sun's getting through, which is heating up everything more. Okay. In the below comparison from Dr. Michael Lowry, you can see the absence of dust compared to normal. Use the slider bar to view the eastern tropical Atlantic. Also notice the excess smoke in the North Atlantic from the Canadian wildfires. We're going to return to that. Okay. So this is the dust that you would normally see.
All right, so apparently, usually, before the Earth was fucked up and we made it hotter and stuff, apparently there'll be winds that blow through. Because think about it. When we change the Earth's temperature and shit through all these chemicals, we are also altering the fucking the wind patterns and shit on Earth. You know how there's wind patterns on Earth? You know how there's like those weird ass wind patterns on the ocean and shit? We're changing that. We're changing that because hot temperatures go up, heat goes down, you know, so it all it fucks Earth up. It's fucking Earth up. We're fucking Earth up. We're confusing Earth. We're transing Earth. Conservative and corporate fuckers are transing Earth right now. I'm just joking, guys. It's not real. But, like, we're really fucking Earth up. Not that, like, being trans is fucked up. I'm just saying, like, they're changing Earth. You know what I mean? They're forcefully changing Earth, guys. It's really fucked up. It should not be allowed. Let Earth change itself naturally. But what I'm saying is, it would kick up dust. And now, I guess that dust isn't being kicked up. Therefore, it's not blocking out as much sun over that ocean area right there. See that? Over this area right here, it's not blocking out enough sun anymore. And now that's just heating up the oceans like crazy.
And it would be over the tropical Atlantic.
Crazy.
Right? This year, not much dust. And also, look at the smoke from the Canadian wildfire.
Look at that.
There is also an extreme heat wave off the coast of Europe contributing to the heat as well, and is not confined to the Atlantic. In the Pacific, El Nino is warming the tropical waters while heat lingers from a warm blob over the north-central Pacific Ocean. When you add it all up, global temperatures are way beyond record hot, making the heat basically statistically impossible before human-caused warming existed. Below you can see the black line indicating this year's sea surface temperature departure from normal, about 4 standard deviations above normal, which is far above records. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at the fucking black
That
line,
is
bro.
so-
It's way above
that's
every other line.
Almost off the chart.
It's like,
Quite literally.
it's like way...
Wow. Wow. Okay. Another chart that has really stood out for its off-the-charts look is Antarctic sea ice. Right now, sea ice should be growing fast near the South Pole because it's winter there. Instead, growth is labored and departures from normal are the highest ever observed at a very least at a very surprising time of year, given that it's winter there. Okay, look at this. Antarctic sea ice anomalies
Yeah, if I don't
range
have
from
headphones, I might need like a
1979
noise
to
gate for
2002.
my...
Look at this.
I mean, I have a noise gate on. I have filters, but
and then you have
I
2023.
might need
Look
to
how low
do
we
a
are.
hotkey for my mic so I can
Jesus.
talk when
To
I turn
view
it
this
on.
another way, take a look below at the map of Antarctica.
Yes,
The red
Steven?
shows areas that are behind on sea ice growth nearly everywhere.
Oh my god, look at that. That's
Look
where
at this.
sea ice is melting. Dude.
That's wild. While climate change is likely playing a role in the downward trend these
We're
last few
fucking-
years,
we're-
it can likely not explain the rapid dip in sea ice growth in the past few months. The atmospheric and ocean currents are very variable near Antarctica, and it will likely take much research to quantify the reasons. Over the longer term, there are worrying signs at the bottom of the world, with a few new papers showing a large decline in the vital overturning circulation. That dip in southern ice also caused global sea ice to be at record departure from normal levels. So look at this. Global sea ice lowest on record for this time of year. Right here's what it's like other years, and here's 2023. Global sea ice, record low for this time of year. Now let's move on to the Canadian wildfires. It's early in fire season, but already Canada has experienced its worst wildfire season on record in terms of burning area, fire size, and intensity. As the climate warms, areas dry, and fires spread more vigorously. This year, there has been a persistent heat dome for months across parts of Canada, which has led to less rain and warmer weather. Holy cow. A measure of fire size and intensity from 2000 to 2023. Magenta is 2023.
Bro, look at that.
This is other seasons. Here is 2023. Canadian wildfires are off the charts.
That looks insane, bro.
This has led to a record-setting amount of greenhouse emissions from Canadian wildfires. So many emissions, it's almost equal to that of Canada's normal greenhouse emissions in a whole year, and it's still early in the fire season.
Shit.
Annual total wildfire carbon emissions for Canada. So this is it right here. That's crazy. This is 2023. We can see a worrying sign from the fire emissions data that as we warm the earth, growing emissions from fires will counteract the deliberate emissions reductions from governments, which are aimed at reducing climate change. It's an irony. Lastly, let's discuss Greenland. Recently, the below image was posted by Dr. Jason Box, an expert on Greenland. It's how surface snow ice melt spiked off this chart over the past few years. Greenland melt extent 2023. So this is this year. This is the 2023 melt.
Back, folks.
At this rate, Greenland's not going to be there pretty soon, dude. Although this may appear to be a record spike, this graph shows values in the gray, which are within the 10th and 90th percentile, meaning it does not show values above 90%. The spike was caused by very warm temperatures, some of which can be attributed to downsloping winds. A further inspection reveals that we have seen much larger spikes in a few years prior, especially in 2021, the year of record for Greenland. This graphic below was made by Professor Elliot Jacobson. Greenland land melt area anomaly, 1991 to 2023. So 2002 was pretty bad. 2012 was pretty bad. And 2023, we're early in the season, but it's on track to be as bad as 2002 or maybe worse. But for Greenland, it is still early in the season. Next week, a massive heat dome will form over the island, and melt rates will be very high. With the added heat in the system for El Nino, it is worth watching to see if 2023 can overtake 2012 for the title. So far, I've written all this without mentioning the ongoing heat wave in the U.S. While it was over Mexico and Texas, it became one of the longest-lived early season heat waves on record, and by some measures is the worst heat wave on record, especially in Mexico and Southwest Texas. Numerous all-time records were broken, with stations in Texas recording over a week in a row of record-breaking heat. That heat has moved east into the U.S. Deep South and Florida. The heat dome will finally fade over the next few days. So this was the heat dome, and you had temperatures in the hundreds throughout all of Texas for quite a long time, and Mexico was baking. The bottom line is, with Earth's overheated climate and an intensifying El Nino, we can expect to see the Earth's climate system astonish us over and over again into next year. So again, this article was on June 30th, right? And since then, you know what happened? Tuesday was the world's hottest day ever recorded, with a global temperature of 62.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me repeat that. It was the world's hottest day ever recorded. Look, man, I'm no expert. But this doesn't seem good. Now, I like that article because it was nuanced. It says, yes, climate change is driving this, but also there are other factors like it being El Nino, et cetera, right? Like, so it's not just going with one narrative. It's sort of like very nuanced in its approach. It's not black and white. There's shades of gray. I like that. But having said that, I think the overall takeaway is very black and white. I think we need to get off of the fossil fuels. Use green technology and renewable technology and wind and solar and geothermal and nuclear.
Alrighty.
Because
I'm back, bitches.
I mean, if every year for the rest of our lives, it's like record year, record year, record
Yeah,
year,
for real. That
record year.
shit's
At some
depressing.
point, we're at the point of no return, right? And I remember reading those articles about how the Middle East will be uninhabitable by like 2050.
Yep.
Then you have a massive immigration crisis, refugee crisis.
Yeah.
And
If it
that's
gets
one of many
too hot-
wars over.
If it gets too hot, basically, what happens is there is something called wet bulb temperature. Wet bulb temperature means that it's so hot in an area that you sweat to death. Your body sweats so much and it can't cool itself down, so it keeps trying to sweat. And you just sweat till you're dehydrated and it's too hot and you die. And that's happening more and more. And with the climate getting fucked up, that's gonna keep happening. I'm not sure. I don't think continuing the way we're doing capitalism and shit's gonna work. I think corporations need to shut the fuck up and listen to governments. Governments need to act tough and not take money from these motherfucking corporations in any other way than taxes. Okay? No bribes, no fucking donations. Taxes. Tax them. Regulate them. This is fucking bullshit. This should be a world war level event. Like, countries should be working together to fucking solve this shit. But of course they won't. They want to keep making money. Money.
For water, drought, famine,
Yeah.
etc. The western portion of the United States is running out of water. We're just getting
Fucking
started,
money,
man.
dude.
You're like, guy. Man, all of you guys with your bitch ass,
That's rich people right there.
bunch of bitch ass culeros. Bunch of bitch ass culeros.
Yeah, that's from Key and Peele.
Bunch of bitch ass culeros. I don't have no time to sit in no fucking chair.
I don't got no time.
Man, all of you guys with your bitch ass chairs.
Oh man. Yeah, I feel bad though. Like, you really do feel like you can't do anything, and it's really depressing. I just want to say this to everybody.
It's just too stupid to even know what they've done wrong. They just go on about their day thinking like, I'm a fucking retard.
Okay.
And I feel like since we're the frog in boiling water, it's like a slow thing, so there's just not much movement to really address this in a serious way. Biden did, to his credit, do a multi-billion-dollar effort in the IRA to bring about green and renewable technology. It's made in America. So there are good things, but we're not going nearly as far as we need to. And I think everybody knows that. And when you read a scary article like this, it's just a reminder that we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.
Now we're gonna watch. Let's go to Obama. Let's see what Obama thinks about climate change before we jump on Anna Kasparian.
Your team might be mad that I'm putting you on the spot like this, but I need you
Can't hear shit, guys. I'm so sorry.
to look me in the eyes
Yes,
and be honest with me.
always.
Mr. President, when you do your end of the year lists,
Yes.
do you really
Let's watch.
read all those books?
Wait. I don't want to watch this whole thing. I don't know if I'll get copyrighted. But Obama, Hassan Minhaj, Vosh. I like Vosh's take. Vosh is a very good take on this shit, dude. Vosh and Hassan. Where's the Vosh one? Not enough. I think this one's good. Vosh, I love you, Vosh. Vosh.
Malia comes to me. She says, you know what? She's 24.
So his daughter comes to him. He says, Aaliyah. She comes to him and she's like, Dad, it's so depressing. Earth's dying. What do we do, Daddy? What do we do, Daddy? What do we do?
Malia comes to me. She says, you know what? She's 24. All our friends, sometimes we talk about climate change and we just feel like there is no way we're gonna be able to solve this. We're looking at the science. It feels as if we're on a trajectory that we're gonna sail past this.
What show is this from?
2 degrees centigrade
Right.
benchmark where after that, potentially things are getting cataclysmic. And so I'll be honest with you, Dad, a lot of my friends, they just feel as if, what's the point? Because
What
the
is the
world's
point?
burning and there's nothing I can do. And I said to her, well, she asked me, what should I say to them?
Right.
And what I said to her is, look, we may not.
And what I said to her is, listen, bitch. I was the president. We may not be able to get to stop 3.5% centigrade, but just have hope, bitch. Because the Jedi always win at the end. May the force be with you. Shut the fuck up.
Be able to cap temperature rise to 2 degrees centigrade.
Remember how before it was 1 degree centigrade and then it was 1.5, and now it's like, we might not be able to cap it at 2. Like 1.5 was the mark that they set for that UN report where they were like, yeah, this is like the world ending, you know, basically.
But here's the thing. If we work really hard...
It's like, hey, listen, I know we all wanted to keep the temperature increase down below 1 degree centigrade, but hey, there are worse things than it going beyond 1.5 degrees centigrade. In fact, I've read multiple papers which suggest that even past 2 degrees centigrade or, anything like that, it's still possible for us to bounce back. 2.5 degrees centigrade, personally, I say, bring it on,
We may be able to cap it at 2.5 instead of 3. Or 3 instead of 3.5. That extra centigrade, that might mean the difference between whether Bangladesh is underwater.
Right.
It means the difference between hundreds of millions dead and billions dead. Right, of course.
Might make the difference.
He's doing it.
As to whether, 100 million people have
he's
to migrate,
doing it.
Right.
or only a few.
No, it's 100 million or a billion at these numbers.
Boys.
Incremental changes.
That matters.
Yeah, I see what
It
you're
makes a difference.
Sure.
And
and
to
it's
be
worth
able,
fighting for. And
it's worth fighting
And you
for.
can't descend into denial.
Incremental changes, that matters. Incremental, it's something. It's something. If we could do a little bit here, a little bit there, it adds up. It all adds up at the end, you do a little bit here, a little bit there. Man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Fucking Obama. Obama's such a fucking centrist, bro. He never wants to say what you actually need to do. He never wants to say what you actually need to do. Because scientists are saying that we need to do a world war level event where countries need to come together and really tackle climate change on. We need to really tackle this shit on. And Obama's like, well, listen up, Leah. We're rich. We're rich, we're wealthy. We made it. Don't worry about the poors. We have a wall. We have guards. We have defense. We're wealthy. We can live forever, Aaliyah. We can pay our AC. Don't worry about the poors. All right, Aaliyah? Don't worry about the poors, Aaliyah. The poors just do the work. We actually get to enjoy the fruit of our labor. What labor, you ask? Oh, I mean, of their labor. My bad.
Nihilism and not try to save the.
So this is I guess like the best thing you could call this is like toxic optimism. Obama can't not be cool. Like he always has to be cool and collected. It's his whole thing. So he can't.
Under Obama, that motherfucker increased. He increased every fucking every oil drilling bill or whatever. He passed so much fucking shit.
Sit
That's
here and go.
Pro climate change. Pro fucking up the climate. That's what I mean by that.
Like we're on the knife's edge, and it's all going to end unless something is done. Because as a paladin of neoliberalism, it's his role to sit here as the world crumbles and go, well, incremental change is necessary. I agree, Arscarva. This is a kind of nihilism because he's not fronting the actual change or moral weight of the conundrum we're being faced. Imagine if like this was being done in reference to any other mass death event where like there's an ongoing Holocaust and Obama's like, well, maybe we won't be able to keep the number of people killed below 3 million. But that difference between 4 million and 5 or 5 million and 6, that's a big difference. It's like,
that is so true. What he just said. What the fuck is the difference, right, between climate change killing millions of people, devastating shit like Holocaust level event, Millions of people dead from climate change. What is the difference between that and a dictator killing a million people? Nothing. The only thing is that a dictator is a person. Climate change is it's the planet. It's killing us because we're fucking it up. But Obama's like, oh, whoa, don't worry, incremental change. Increment, we do little by little, we'll get there, even though we missed the 1.5 degree centigrade goal and the 2.5 degree, you know what I mean? We missed every goal we're missing. And he's like, oh, don't worry, little by little, bro. Don't worry, bro. Shut the fuck up, Obama, you piece of fucking shit.
It's sickening because it's avoiding the right response, which is a deservedly alarmist and aggressive
fucking money, bro.
and fierce attack on the underlying logic of the scenario. It's complacency, it's acceptance. It's fake change. Oh, we did nothing to stop us from arriving at this point. Oh, we were weak and ineffectual and abstemious in getting to this point. But hey, that doesn't mean we can't keep keeping our chests puffed out in the future. And well, okay, I agree that we shouldn't just become nihilistic, but I think this is kind of nihilistic because constantly painting over reality with a, well, change matters attitude doesn't really speak much to the reality of the problem. It's like being told to keep calm and carry on, or keep smiling through it all. It doesn't, well, it's always better to keep calm than it is to not keep calm while carrying on. Well, okay, maybe, but that doesn't fix it. And that's all you're saying? He had 8 years in office. I love that every once in a while when Obama says something online, you'll get these 16-year-old Zoomer neolib or SOCDEMs who will be like, actually, there was nothing Obama could have done but bring out a watered-down Medicare for all bill that would insure a bunch of previously uninsured people without changing the fundamental structure of the insurance system, and it barely provided them any coverage. And then a lot of it away.
Yeah.
It's there's only so much you can do when you're a president for 8 years. And
you want to know how Obama came up with Obamacare? He wanted to look popular for the Republicans. He wanted to look better. So the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank, basically came up with the idea of a healthcare plan that was like Obamacare in a way. You had to pay insurance. You know what I mean? If you didn't have insurance, you're fucked. You got to pay a bill or whatever the fuck. Obama took that idea from Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank, slapped his fucking name on it. Bam, Obamacare. You gotta have insurance or else you get charged. Blah, 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 blah. Shitty insurance. Bam, Obamacare. Right-wing think tank. Obama, centrist. A leftist, a real leftist will never fucking listen to a right-wing think tank, okay?
And during portions of your presidency, you have both enormous popularity and significant legislative support. I don't buy it. It's just so interesting how Republicans and Democrats theoretically follow the same rules and are limited by the same powers, and yet for some reason nothing seems impossible to Republicans. They can do anything they put their minds to, but for Democrats, they are sickeningly weak. No wonder the youth unemployment rate in Italy is so high. Raised temperatures to 48 C. Ooh. Oh my god.
Shit.
118 Fahrenheit. Yeah, 118.
118? Oh my god, dude. How much evidence do we need that the fucking planet's dying in front of our eyes? How much evidence do we need? I'm gonna keep doing this show until I die, bro. I'm gonna have so much evidence, but no one's gonna care.
This is like Death Valley shit. Jesus Christ. Could get close to breaking a European record this week as a fierce heat wave grips much of the continent. Ooh. Ooh. With the islands of Sicily and Sardinia predicted to bear the brunt at 47 to 48 degrees C. Jesus. This is like post-apocalypse shit, man. This is like, guys, get your fucking snorkel and fins. We're going to spend this weekend underwater. Get your air from the little tube. You are going to stay down there. The water is still going to be like 65 degrees, or not 65, 95 Fahrenheit. A lot of places here in Europe don't really use AC either. Yeah, don't a lot of places near the Mediterranean not really use AC because A, the temperature tends to be nice, and B, there tends to be a nice like oceanic breeze, or like sea breeze, I guess. The Mediterranean's pretty big. No AC and thin walls. Ugh. When I was in Italy, they had AC, but it was shit.
Yo, that was some good ass ravioli, dude. I ate some ravioli.
The intense heat is expected to last about 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
In central and southern Italy?
What the fuck?
They're gonna die. Now they'll be cooking their pizza on the pavement. Yeah, I guess they know. England barely lasted through the last heat wave. Yeah. I know a lot of people made fun of the UK because they were like freaking out about a heat wave where it was like 88 degrees or whatever. But what people don't understand is like a heat wave.
Yeah, in different parts of the world, a heat wave means a different thing. I learned this from Vosh. I watched this earlier, but it makes total sense because they build their houses differently. Like in Europe, it's colder, so like they build their houses to keep in the heat, right? And because of that, in the really hot fucking climate change era, you're fucked. Instead of keeping all that heat, you're gonna die.
Wave in different parts of the world means very different shit. Some houses are built to keep in heat, and some are built to expel heat, right? Like in Los Angeles, houses are built to expel heat. If it's a hot day, the house is doing everything in its power to let heat out. That is not the case in the UK. The UK is far north. People don't realize that. The UK is far north enough. It's more north than like almost all of the United States. I think that the UK, in terms of like height on the globe, is closer to Alaska than it is to like Ohio. Like it's much further up than a lot of Americans think. It's cold up there. So 88 degrees? Insane. Also, there's acclimatization to heat. If you live in a hot area, if your body gets used to it, your skin smooths. And if you live in a cold area, your skin corrugates. I know that sounds insane, but there are literally, if you live in a cold area, or people who live in cold areas, have like microfolds on the outside of their skin that retain heat, like air pockets, kind of. I know that sounds really dumb, but that's a thing. It's not like a genetic evolutionary thing. It happens to you if you acclimate to the temperature. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, the way your fat distributes, like there's a lot of stuff when it comes to like how much you can take heat-wise. Epigenetic activation. Just to confirm, because I'm positive that I've read this before in a study. Cold skin folds, wrinkles, corrugates. One of those words should bring it up. Skin folds, wrinkles, corrugates. To acclimate to cold. Human physiological response to cold exposure. The pattern of acclimatization is dependent on change in skin and core temperature in the exposed. Three primary patterns of cold acclimatization have been observed. A, habituation. B, metabolic adjustment. And C, insulative adjustment. It's that last one right there, insulative adjustment. Dependent on changes in skin and core temperature. I'm not going to look into the whole of the article, but yeah, it's interesting stuff. So there's a physiological reason why people who are born in warm environments tend to get cold easier and vice versa. It's not just what they're used to in like an emotional sense. Man, I feel really bad for fucking Italian people are going to die in this. Jesus. Are China and India doing better at us at transitioning to green energy? Are we just fucked? No. There's some sensible stuff that China has done in terms of like how quickly our economy could shift into green energy, though. I'm pretty sure America is pretty much top of the line for a large country. Like in terms of like if we decided to commit to it and flip all the switches, we still have more of an ability to do that than anyone, just because we're so wealthy and we have the infrastructure to manage a lot of those changes. Yeah, China's still putting out quite a lot of fossil fuel. 61,000 people died of heat in the last heat wave in Europe. In Europe! The mortality rate was highest in Italy and Greece. Of course it was, yeah. Italy, Greece, Spain, Portugal, the hottest countries there, yeah. Can't wait for it to be even worse next year. India has done a good job of switching to solar energy. Is that true? Hey, that's nice. Sunny makes money. India installs a record volume of solar power in 2022. That's cool. I like that. Ah, that is such an interesting aesthetic. I don't know if this would be considered like a poor looking building in India, but to me it does look poor. And to have on its roof these like solar panels, it's just like an interesting, because that's the world I want, right? I don't want there to be poverty, of course, but like the idea of green energy being so normalized that like you don't just see it as a glamour affect in wealthy areas. It's like, oh, you go down to where the tenements and the poor people are, well, they've got solar power too, you know? India's really fucking hot right now, apparently. Yes, it is. It's like, yeah, it's rainy and storming and hot over there.
I really do wish poorer countries had way more solar panels.
Their government
and shit
subsidized.
available.
They basically pay you
It's
to get
not
these
fair.
installed. Yeah, they did that. They've done that in a lot of countries. They did that in Australia. I have a friend who got like solar panels on
It's
their roof
not
basically
fair.
for
I'm making
free
more
because of a
ravioli, that's why I
government
left. I'm
subsidy.
sorry.
Whereas over here in the United States, Jimmy Carter had solar panels put on the roof of the White House, and Ronald Reagan had them
Fucking
taken down. out
Ronald
of
Reagan
spite
took
when he
them
entered
down. The
office.
solar panels on the White
That's
House.
where we're at.
That's how
Solar
shitty
energy
this
right now
country
is
is.
incredibly cheap.
You could be a president that does something good, and then the next motherfucking shitty ass corporate overlord president comes in and fucking undoes everything you did. It's like, okay, sweet.
It's cheaper than any other
Sweet.
kind of energy. I have a lot of
Thank
hope for India
you.
in the future. I know they're currently led by a Hindu fascist, but there's some stuff that their government has been up to that I feel positively about. Oh, they do, Perel. The majority of solar power in India comes from their like giant deserts, you know? Because the difficulty with placing solar plants is that you can't just place them anywhere. There is an efficiency runoff if you transmit energy across too long of a line. Or to put it another way, if we put a bunch of our solar plants down in like New Mexico, that energy
Basically, energy would always find a way to escape through heat. That's why when your phone is hot, it loses a lot of battery quickly, because heat is basically like the when your batteries are on, it causes heat because there's always excess energy that's leaving it or whatever. I don't know. It's very fucking complicated. But over time, over long distances, electricity will lose energy through heat. In other ways, I'm sure. But like, yeah, you know, Vosh basically said everything that I'm like agreeing with. Like, it's too fucking hot. Planet's dying. Oh man, now we're going on to Anna Kasparian birthing persons. All right. I like Xander Hall. Xander Hall's lit.
All right, everybody. So, the Young Turks, for a very long time, was one of, if not the biggest organization online advocating for progressive values. Like, you know how the right has the Daily Wire, Blaze TV, the fucking Louder with Crowder show is like a whole organization. Alex Jones is his own organization. There's Dave Rubin's, like, his own organization as well. All these people have their own organizations, their own compounds. Tim Pool, his own compound and organization. All these people have their own, like, spheres, Fresh and Fit, like all the podcast bro types from TikTok. All these people are massive and have the Daily Stormer. They have basically these huge companies that they run and a lot of money, because there's a lot of money in conservatism. They don't have the truth on their side. There's no money in spreading the truth. There's never been money in spreading the truth. Tell me one point in history in which spreading the truth has made people more money than spreading bullshit. Bullshit artists have always made more money than people spreading the truth. The truth doesn't sell, bullshit does. So, right-wing figures just have a lot more money and resources at their disposal. So something like TYT was very valuable to the left. Something with high production value that looked like it had money behind it, consistent output of content, and decent coverage that was advocating for left-wing values. Outside of that, you've got the Majority Report, and that's pretty much it.
I love the Majority Report. Oh, they're so awesome, man. I love Sam Cedar's voice too. It's so soothing and shit. You know what I mean?
Name another, like, on par with the Majority Report and TYT. David Pakman. Really? We're going to say David Pakman in his example? With his takes on like, Bolivia and Israel and Palestine? Secular talk? Kyle Kalinske is pretty fucking cringe. We're talking about internet stuff, Halsor. Kyle Kalinske is pro-Russia. It's really only the Majority Report. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's really
like
only the Majority Report
just because he's pro-Russia.
Okay.
I mean,
all these.
How pro-Russia is Kyle? Like I never heard him say like, "Oh, I love Putin" or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? He might love Russia, but I don't think he loves their shitty government that much. You know? I don't know. I mean, he is trying to kind of like equivocate cluster bombs or whatever with the same as Russian cluster bombs, even though Russians were just launching it at like villages and shit. I understand, but like, I don't think Kyle is that pro Russia. Like, you could change my mind though, but I still like Kyle because my you know, I have Russian you know, close Russian people.
These examples you could possibly give up or bring up, they all have one major thing in common. They all do the populist Nazgul grift. And unfortunately, it looks like that's where TYT is headed now too. Sadly, it seems like that's where things are headed with TYT, notably, in large part because of Anna Kasparian, who is one of the head co-hosts of TYT and has recently gone on quite the rampage of cringe. It basically all started when, out of nowhere, seemingly, she had this big Twitter thread about how she doesn't want to be called a birthing person. Yeah, I guess H3 kind of counts, sort of. Which is really weird because birthing person's just legal terminology used in the text of laws to ensure that certain laws that pertain to birth control and abortion can apply to trans men who still have uteruses as well as cis women. Because if they use wording like birthing person, that's as broad as possible for the law, instead of a super narrow law that could leave a ton of people out of it. But I guess that was how Anna Kasparian wanted to start her grift as a conservative commentator. So she starts complaining about the wording of birthing person being disrespectful to women. And, like, she just starts losing her shit about it, and the rest of the TYT gang backs her up for some reason. And she's just continuously been making posts and different statements about how sympathetic she is to the right now. And this has all seemed to have mounted up with her leaving the left, it seems. She has just gone the other day. When was this? 2 days ago. She went on a small conservative, I would almost venture to say alt-right, political show called Adam and Sitch and Adam.
Lilo and Stitch.
She's appeared here as a guest. Now,
Weirdo
Sitch and Adam makes some top-tier content,
guys are fucking
such
trash,
as
bro.
Sean Destroys Leftist on Timcast
Oh my god.
on poverty causing crime. Because, of course, they don't believe that poverty causes...
they don't think poverty causes crime. They think black people or your skin color causes crime.
Because they believe race does.
It's fucking stupid. They're dumb
Leftists
motherfuckers.
seethe over charity stream because the money was
They're
given
dumb
to other
motherfuckers.
people H3H3 versus
And now
Just
Anna
Pearly
goes on
Things.
their
Should
fucking
women be
show,
allowed
like,
to vote?
okay.
Just Pearly Things misquotes
bitch.
Thomas Sowell and doubles
Bye,
down on
Anna.
H3H3.
See you
so this is
later.
them like coping
Call it the
about
white lady
Thomas Sowell
hour.
being
We were nice to
a
you.
piece of shit and H3H3
Bye
calling that
forever,
out.
dude. You're fucked.
Non-binary
Anna's
rant.
fucked.
No one
People-
has the respect you. No one has to respect your aesthetic. Sorry, the text is small. Schenk versus Destiny, who was responsible for Kenosha. Gross leftist cares more about policing hashtags than violent crime victim. Is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse good? Is it woke? Is it both? So, like, this is unironically the level of engagement they do, and Anna Kasparian has gone on their show. I think it's pretty clear what message you're supposed to get from this, right? I think it's pretty clear what message that the left is supposed to get from her doing this. You know, rent prices in LA are really expensive. The TYT studio is, of course, in Los Angeles. Those prices are going up. I get it. I get it. They gotta follow the money. There's never been much money in it for the left. You know, unironically, being a lefty political commentator, just the idea of grifting as like an ex-left-wing conservative is like the dark side. A constant pull on you that requires diligence and like a soul and a moral conscience to fight against. But I don't think you guys understand how quickly, like, how much money and like relevance it would bring to my channel, Vosh's channel, Demon Mama's channel, Keffels' channel, any of these people if they came out as like ex-left-wing conservatives now. They would blow up. There would be a media circus for them. That's how it works. Seems like Anna's already starting that.
Okay.
Hey now, it's your boy PSA Sitch here with another Sunday show with everyone's favorite Supreme Court enthusiast, Adam Frendit.
Oh yeah. I've been reading up on the Supreme Court, Sitch. I'm learning so much about how our country functions. It's amazing. And we have, look, a special guest with us here today, Anna Kasparian, co-host of The Young Turks. Do you want to introduce yourself? I mean, I feel like everyone, our audience,
Let him
definitely
cook.
knows
Let
who
him
you are,
cook.
but
I
you're
cooked.
probably doing other things as well.
Cause
At the moment, I'm not. I'm mostly focusing on TYT. But yeah, I'm the executive producer
work in a few
and
hours.
co-host of The Young Turks.
Mm-hmm.
And
fuck me. Fuck God fucking shit.
And she's just continuously been making posts and different statements about how sympathetic she is to the right now. And this has all seemed to have mounted up with her leaving the left, it seems. She has just gone the other day. When was this? 2 days ago. She went on a small conservative, I would almost venture to say alt-right, political show called Adam and Sitch, or Sitch and Adam. You can see she's appeared here as a guest. Now, Sitch and Adam make some top-tier content, such as Sean destroys leftist on Timcast on poverty causing crime. Because, of course, they don't believe that poverty causes crime because they believe race does. Leftists seethe over charity stream because the money was given to other people. H3H3 versus Just Pearly Things. Should women be allowed to vote? Just Pearly Things misquotes Thomas Sowell and doubles down on H3H3. So this is them, like, coping about Thomas Sowell being a piece of shit and H3H3 calling that out. Non-binary rant. No one has the no one has to respect your aesthetic. Sorry, the text is small. Schenk versus Destiny, who was responsible for Kenosha. Gross leftist cares more about policing hashtags than violent crime victim. Is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse good? Is it woke? Is it both? So, like, this is unironically the level of engagement they do, and Anna Kasparian has gone on their show. I think it's pretty clear what message you're supposed to get from this, right? I think it's pretty clear what message that the left is supposed to get from her doing this. You know, rent prices in LA are really expensive. The TYT studio is, of course, in Los Angeles. Those prices are going up. I get it. I get it. They gotta follow the money. There's never been much money in it for the left. You know, unironically, being a lefty political commentator, just the idea of grifting as like an ex-left-wing conservative is like the dark side. A constant pull on you that requires diligence and like a soul and a moral conscience to fight against. But I don't think you guys understand how quickly, like, how much money and like relevance it would bring to my channel, Vosh's channel, Demon Mama's channel, Keffels' channel, any of these people if they came out as like ex-left-wing conservatives now. They would blow up. There would be a media circus for them. That's how it works. Seems like Anna's already starting that.
Okay.
Hey now, it's your boy PSA Sitch here with another Sunday show with everyone's favorite Supreme Court enthusiast, Adam Friended.
Oh, yeah. I've been reading up on the Supreme Court, Sitch. I'm learning so much about how our country functions.
I wonder how this loser PSA Sitch looks like. Fucking whack-ass cartoon, bro. What is that shit? You just took a fucking silhouette of a Men in Black, added shitty-ass white eyes and a shitty mouth.
It's amazing. And we have, look, a special guest with us here today, Anna Kasparian, co-host of The Young Turks. Do you want to introduce yourself? I mean, I feel like everyone, our audience definitely knows who you are, but you're probably doing other things as well.
At the moment, I'm not. I'm mostly focusing on TYT. But yeah, I'm the executive producer and co-host of The Young Turks, and have been since 2007. And, you know, I've done other things on the side at various points of my career. But for now, that's the main focus.
Okay, so we're very excited to have this conversation. We started talking a little bit before the show, and you seem open to talking about a lot of things. You seem to be going through kind of a political transformation, evolution. I don't really know the right word to call it, but I'll let you talk about that. But first,
I just realized these guys are like offensively boring, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up by 1.5.
First of all, people want to know, because you did mention in our little chat in DMs that I was wrong about the Daily Wire thing. Now, I make predictions on the show all the time, and I have never been wrong before. So people, I've been making jokes about you might end up at the Daily Wire. That's not true?
No. It's funny because, you know, I'm going through something very real.
Nah, she's taking TYT with her.
And very sincere, and it's uncomfortable, and it has not been an enjoyable process for me. It's been difficult. And so the internet being what it is, all sorts of people from all sorts of political ideologies have theories on like what's actually happening with me, right? And the main accusation, both from the left and the right, is that I'm grifting, which is hilarious because literally nothing has changed about my work.
And from the right, nobody on the right is accusing her of grifting. I've not seen a single person on the right accuse her of being a grifter. I mean, we know that she's grifting because we know, like, I've seen Anna Kasparian explain why the perspectives that she now holds are wrong very, very competently and reference, like, research and evidence to prove that. She knows that she's full of shit. We know she's grifting. She hasn't, like, forgotten the information that she's learned over the last, like, decade plus of political commentary. She is choosing to forego the fact that she knows what the truth is, and yeah. What are the odds she's getting divorced and making it everyone's problem, and that's always how this shit goes? That's weird. No, I just think she's, like, wealthy, and she's gotten older, and so she feels like, okay, something you have to remember is people do get, like, more selfish as they get older. It could literally be that. It could literally be that she's getting older and she's, gotten more money, saved up, she's more well off. Taxes are starting to affect her more hard because she's got more money. And she's kind of thinking, no, I don't want the value, like the policies that I advocate for to pass.
Oh shit, my mic was off. I'm sorry. And what I was saying was, Anna knows she's wrong, and there's plenty of times of her saying that she's wrong. I'm literally admitting that, like, oh, birthing person's not a big issue, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's had plenty of episodes where she's talked about all these issues in a good way. And now out of nowhere, because she said that some dudes, so like 2 homeless people or whatever, rubbed up against her. Like, one dude rubbed up against her, and as they laughed as they walked away or whatever. Just because you went through a really bad, like, situation like that, doesn't mean that the right wing are right about political issues, you stupid bitch. And this is what I was saying, but my mic was off. I'm sorry, I didn't know. But, like, just because you go through a bad situation, I've been through so many fucking bad situations, and I've never let that shit change my fucking politics in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like, if a black dude said something to me like, "Oh, you fucking gusano," I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, fuck, I hate them now." You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here. You're just a loser ass bitch. You're trying to make more money. We know it. We know it.
Where she's gotten. Like, she's gotten to the point where it is most beneficial to her to be a conservative on multiple fronts, like both to advocate for conservatism, because there's more money in that, and to fight against leftist policies or progressive policies from passing, because those would negatively affect her as someone who, as it would seem, is probably more wealthy.
Work life. I'm in the same place. I have the same audience. The audience doesn't like some of what I have to say or some of the new conclusions I've come to. And so I wanted to kind of set the record straight about what I have personally experienced. I don't know what my political labels are at this point, right? Because I feel like I don't really fit anywhere. And that's just full honesty. It's, again, very uncomfortable for me. And I want to say that out of any point in my adult life, this is probably the point where I'm the most malleable and open to new information because of what I've experienced.
Wait, Anna has mentioned that her taxes have been going up recently? That's hilarious. Yeah, that's because she's making more money
over the last few years. And I can get into details about that in just a moment. But that was the reason why I told Adam that, no, this isn't like a Daily Wire thing. I have no interest in working at the Daily Wire. I have no interest in leaving TYT. If anything, I just feel a responsibility to kind of correct what I got wrong in the past to the best of my ability and just do better moving forward. And
correct what she got wrong in the past? Wait, she wants to destroy her old legacy from advocating for progressivism too. That's crazy, dude. She's ashamed of of her past progressive beliefs and what she used to advocate for. That's crazy, dude. There were so many people in the chat before stream went live thinking I was trolling or clickbaiting by saying that she was leaving the left, but like, she's fully sold out. I'm glad I was never much of a fan of TYT, because I feel like I'd feel very betrayed right now if I was somebody who's like watched TYT for a decade, and now I'm just seeing as like they all forego what they damn well know is the truth in exchange for money. Just following the cash.
Reason why I've been a TYT.
And you know what's so sad and embarrassing about it too? Is that this is on its way out. I don't think that these boomers have seen the pattern that like I've seen, and that I think a lot of Zoomers have seen with like the political like cycle online. We're seeing like the end, like it's on its way out. The like current age of conservative domination of culture, and I don't think the next one's going to be anywhere near as big as this one. And it's such a bad time to jump on the grift train. Like, it's such a bad time. Andrew Tate is about to be convicted, and he's going to be like held in confinement and not be able to put out content. So Andrew Tate and that whole sphere is going to fall off very soon. Like Sneeko is getting like made fun of by everybody. A lot of the audience is growing up and getting older. You know what's a really big sign? I've been getting a lot of comments on videos from 2 years ago and a year ago from people replying to year-old comments they left that were hate comments. One of the most common hate comments I get from conservatives is, what the fuck? Why did this come up in my recommended? Why did YouTube try to get me to watch this? Disliked. And then like some like hateful, like racist or transphobic thing, right? But I've been getting comments lately that are replies to those comments from the same people saying they apologize, and they've like had a lot of political evolution since then, and they've decided to come back and leave a like and subscribe. I've been getting like 2 of those comments a week lately, sometimes more, which is unusual. I don't usually get those comments. It's sometimes like once a month, but now it's been like once or twice a week, sometimes more. I think that's a pretty big sign that a lot of the people who fell for this shit are kind of growing up. And that means the market for this conservative propaganda isn't going to be as robust as it used to be, as it is now, or was for the last year or so. And it's not a good time for TYT to shift to the right, I don't think. They weren't even necessarily doing that
That's really
well
nice. I'm glad they are
on the left. I
I'm
don't
glad
think this
people are
right-wing switch is going to be as successful as they think
fucking
it's
getting
going
to
to
their
be.
senses and realizing that
as
this
long as I
shit's
have. And
crazy.
despite what any of you might think about Cenk, he has never once tried to censor me or tell me what I can and can't say. That's the reason why, we get into these fiery debates and there's never any like retaliation.
For the record, in case you're curious about like the moral fiber of the people at TYT, Jimmy Dore came from TYT. Dave Rubin came from TYT.
Yep.
Like, it is not like, I don't even consider Hassan to be all that good, okay? Like, TYT does not have a reputation for producing very good people, okay? Michael Tracy's from TYT. Great point, yeah. Like, I think TYT is just a group of assholes, like asshole grifters and spineless cowards who are just doing it for money. And I think they recognized that there was a very non-existent market online for progressive content back then, but now they realize the money is truly in conservatism, and that's what they're going after. Emma's the only good one that came out of it. Yeah, I don't even think she works with TYT anymore, does she?
No, she does not.
For it. And as long as I'm free to speak my mind and genuinely speak my mind the way I have been, I plan on staying there. And there's absolutely no monetary or financial incentive for me to do anything I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Hassan is a grifter.
Well, Sitch and I box a lot on this show, and I think people, I think they like that. I think they admire that we are able to fight with one another over a policy position and still walk away friends. So I spent the last week, I was watching a bunch of your most recent videos.
So that's the core of it with conservatism, right? That's the big pull they try to do, is that we're so much friendlier than the left.
Yep.
The core of it is that when you're a conservative, you don't actually have to care about anything. The issues that you talk about are all just made up, like talking points given to you by a script or whatever is popping off the most in the algorithm, whatever will make the most money and push the conservative line.
Right after this video.
There's no actual stakes in any of it. So nobody has emotional attachment to any of it. So there's no like big disagreements and arguments that are going to lead to friendships breaking up or moral push to stop being friends with somebody. While on the other hand, on the left, the people who believe in the things they believe in on the left, for the most part, aren't doing it for money. And because of that, yeah, it tends to be like a lot less... people tend to care about what they advocate for more, which makes it more emotional. And it being so much more emotional is what ends friendships and burns bridges and whatnot. Oh shit, I haven't looked in a while. Yeah, we are at 1,000 viewers. Thank you, guys. Hell yeah, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all coming out. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Thank you, guys. Welcome.
And I mean, you're snapping back at Cenk quite often. I mean, it's actually quite refreshing. There's a couple things, and we have questions on these, but I'll let Sitch. I don't know. Do you have anything that you want to ask before we get started?
So yeah, it turns out that Anna is a massive fan of our program. She's in every episode, just huge fan, right?
Well, okay, so I happened to come across a video you guys did about me. It was the stream on, I hate to name names, but you guys were covering the leftist mafia and their insane gaslighting video about me. And you guys were the only ones, as far as I could
Yeah, fuck them, to be fair.
see, that actually did a good job in highlighting how badly they were gaslighting me.
Right.
And so I thank you for doing that because,
You'll notice, by the way, that at this point, some of the most loud and outspoken lefty figures at this point are like the worst representations of the left. like Noah Sampson and the leftist mafia and the serfs and stuff like that. Like, not really doing the best job of representing the left at times. They can be. I think Lance does a better job than most of the people on that list, actually. For all personal and like moral disagreement I have with Lance aside, Lance outside of debates does a decent job, especially on Twitter.
When everyone around you, everyone who alleges to be your friends, tells you something you know isn't true, but they keep repeating it to you over and over again, you start asking yourself, like, am I the
I honestly don't know, Marsquake.
crazy one? You know? So that I really appreciated that. But, you know, you guys have put out a ton of videos about me that have not been friendly or nice. And it's okay. I mean, I can be a good sport about it. And I do think that you guys raised a few valid points. And I just need to be willing to accept
I'm being
where I was wrong and where people are critiquing from good
mentally
faith. Like, you guys have a little
castrated
bit of
just
an edgy
from looking
style,
at
so
her.
I'll acknowledge that.
fuck.
But I have thick skin, so it didn't really bother me that much.
That's yeah, no, I
falling
mean
into
that's
the void.
commendable. You know, we're on this kind of like internet environment where everyone's very attacky to each other,
Totally,
especially when
yeah.
they're not like engaging with them in person. So
Yeah.
you have to have kind of a thick skin. And I know, but I
I
mean,
feel
you're
bad
talking
for
about
her
earlier, and one of the
Latino
things that we
husband
always
or
commend you
whatever
on
the
was,
fuck
you know, when you
boyfriend
publicly
she
came
got
out and you said that
going
you were
on,
wrong
man.
about the Rittenhouse video, which I mean, most people when they make a mistake, they just try to hide it or they try to shift blame. You know, Jimmy Dore very, you know, famously shifted blame to his producer. And I thought it was really commendable that you came out and you're like, no, I got this wrong, and you were trying to show, not just do this like for your sake, but to say,
Did Jimmy Dore try to go against the... Why would Jimmy Dore... Did Jimmy Dore go anti-Rittenhouse?
Cool.
That genuinely surprises me. Jimmy Dore went anti-Rittenhouse? Yeah, he did. So Jimmy Dore's just like... He just like always chooses the wrong position? Because no matter how much you hate Kyle Rittenhouse, legally, indisputably, he was in the right. Like in regards to the law, with like self-defense, having the gun was and bringing it across state lines is illegal. But like, that's unexpected. That is unexpected. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse and all, but legally, Kyle Rittenhouse was unfortunately in the right. Morally wrong still. I mean, yeah, he brought the gun there, brought it across state lines. He was there with it to shoot somebody, no doubt. We know that, yes, obviously, but legally, in the videos that we see, he's being chased, he's being attacked, he has a gun. If you attack somebody who clearly has a gun, that is a lethal threat. Let's be real. So yeah. Jimmy Dore used to grift the left? Yeah, but not back when the Rittenhouse thing happened.
like, listen, audience, you know, you need to understand that this is the story, and you know, I don't want you guys to have the wrong information.
Yeah, there was. Look, the one, I guess, through line you'll notice in the various things that we're going to talk about in this conversation is that it just became abundantly clear to me that where I was getting my information, and I'm not just talking about like, you know, independent lefty outlets. I'm talking about like legacy media outlets, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them, it's not.
Okay, this is getting boring now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, this is really, really boring. But I do have one more related thing to show you guys.
Sorry, Zan, that I like just watched your video, but I'm just getting back on the groove of things. Zan, I love you, Zan. I love you, Kyle. I don't love Anna. Fuck Anna. Get the fuck out of here. I hope you run into more homeless people, Anna. I love you guys. I hope to see you guys next time. I'll probably stream again over the weekend. I'm gonna go play some video games and watch some shit. See ya. Love you guys. You guys are awesome.